Good morning. Welcome to American Reversion. I'm Steve Smith. I hope you all are doing well today. Today I want to start talking about how we fight back. I talked a little bit about why we fight the other day, and I had to skip yesterday, just got too busy. But now something came up last night that I'm actually glad that I missed yesterday, because this is the perfect example of how we need to start fighting back. Now, some will say, and I've heard that from many people, even people that I know, because of the massive fraud that's going on, because of the direction that we possibly see our country returning to, a direction of liberalism, socialism. You might call it communism light, but we're headed to communism heavy if we don't turn this thing around. Um, that it is time to take up arms. The time to push back. It is time to and I've heard, because of we've had a couple of people come up, and just yesterday was the most recent one. Some idiot from Georgia, Democrat idiot. A lot of good people down in Georgia. A lot of my family was from Georgia. So for all you Georgians, sorry about some of these folks that you have to live with. But some idiot down there is calling again for a confiscation and outlawing semi-automatic rifles and any magazines over 10 rounds. Okay, we're back to that idiocy. Now, what I want to caution about here, because I hear a lot of people say, well, if they come for my guns, they're going to get it, one round at a time, or I'm not giving it up. I'm going to take my stand at my doorstep. Okay, let me caution you on that. First off, it is not time for that yet. I hope it will never be time for that. But I hear and I get the comments, the Tree of Liberty and all. It's not time for that. I want you to go through a little thinking process on this. Most of you will be with me on this. For anybody who is ready to take up, to go to town on this, let me just offer a thought. Okay. I want you to imagine if that does happen. All of a sudden, there's a knock on your door, and here are some federal authorities at your door saying, okay, we have it on record that you have X number of, semi-automatic weapons, and we're here to collect those from you. Now, it doesn't just happen like that. You realize that it goes back. It starts with outlawing them, and then telling everybody they have 30 days, 60 days to turn in all of their weapons. And if they don't, then, it's a felony to be in, and I've heard all the, we had a horrible boating accident. Hey, don't hang your hopes on those kinds of things. I know that it sounds good. It sounds, it's a catchy quip for, to say to each other. That's not the reality. The reality is that if a law is passed like that, that does make the possession of these weapons a felony. Now, what do we do about that? I'm getting that in a minute. So imagine that that's what happens, and you get a knock on the door, and you look outside, and there are several government vehicles out there along with the local police, and they say, we're here to collect. We have this list, and these are the weapons that we know that you have bought. And I know there's all those. Well, I've got mine in private sales. There's no record. Well, good. That's great. We're not talking about that. We're talking about most people. And we need to get those right now, or else we will be taking you in to prove that you don't have them, and such as that. Okay. Think about this seriously. For everybody who says, I'm taking my stand on my doorstep, what does that really mean? Okay. Are you going to grab your guns and fight off the might of the government? No, you're not. Okay. Are you going to take a stand right there and go down, in guns blazing? Well, what's the result of that? The result of that is that your kids no longer have a father or a mother. For those of you women out there, okay, your wife no longer has a husband because you're not going to win that fight. Your husband no longer has a wife if it's the woman who's doing that, or the kids, no longer have. Understand, that's what the outcome is on the worst case scenario. The best case is daddy's in jail or mommy's in jail. How does that serve the purpose of your family? Now you can say, well, we need to stand up and we need to stand up against this. And if we don't stand up, and blah, blah, blah. Okay. Every movement needs martyrs. I understand that. And if that's your chosen function in this, that's your business. But I tell you what, families, strong families, needs mother and fathers more than a movement needs martyrs. So give this some thought. Okay. So mommy or daddy in jail serves nobody any good. Okay. First off, it'll break your family financially. It will. It can break your family emotionally and mentally. It can. Okay. It's happened before. It'll happen again. So if I sound defeatist on this, I'm not. Okay. What I'm about to say is that we need to win the fight before it gets to that point. Okay? If it ever got to that point, ever got so bad that, that tree of liberty needed a little watering, it's going to be down the road. It's not now. Okay? But now let's back up. We don't want it to get that way, so how do we keep it from getting that way? Okay? The best time to start something is when it's getting going. And it's getting going again. How do we fight this stuff? We need to soften the enemy. We need to dilute the energy of the enemy. We need to start chipping away at the support of the other side for these idiotic, unconstitutional actions. Okay? And the way that we do that, as I mentioned in the one before, is to begin to educate the ignorant. There are so many people out there in our society, in our country, that don't have a clue as to what's going on. These people are intelligent, believe it or not. Yes, they are. They are intelligent. Many of them, not all of them. There's a lot of idiots out there. I got that. Okay. A lot of them are intelligent, but they're uninformed, meaning they're ignorant on this. I talked to a friend of mine just the other day, extremely intelligent guy, a preparedness individual, but not particularly tuned into, and he is surrounded by libs, not particularly tuned into what's going on. I asked him how he felt about the election. He says, well, I guess it kind of, probably went the way it was supposed to go. He says, I don't see any real evidence of, I'm sure that voter fraud happens, but I don't see any real evidence of it being so widespread that it would make a difference. Okay, that guy is a super intelligent guy that I want on my side. He just doesn't have the information. Okay. You all know people like that. We all know a lot of people like that, and we probably haven't taken the time we should over the last however many years to really be vocal enough and get into conversations with these people and try to educate them. This is the first step. This is how we fight now. We take it upon ourselves, the responsibility to educate more and more people, to get them off of that other side, or at least, or out of the non-committed middle and on our side, so that they can see what's going on. They can see the importance of what's going on. They can see the possible ramifications of what's going on, and they can see the base anti-American unconstitutionality of it all. Okay. So somebody said, well, can you give me some examples of voter fraud? Can you tell me something to tell people about examples of what's going on with voter fraud? Yesterday, I think it might have been Kelly who sent this to me. I don't know. But a great site is up there, and I'm going to put the link down here. And I suggest everybody go there and start to understand the information in it. Now, it's got kind of a cheesy name, okay, and that it might throw you off. And if anybody says, "What's your source?" and you tell them the name of this website, they'll just pass it off because like I say, it's a silly sounding name. But the site is joecheated.com, and I'll put the link down here. Now, when I upload these things, it takes me a few minutes, wait for them to get loaded up, and then I copy and paste it in the body of the information. I'm not a pro at this, so it takes me a few minutes. So if you get right on, you happen to see this and the link's not there, just go to joecheated.com. Okay. This is how we start fighting now. We get involved in the information wars. Okay. I know that sounded like InfoWar. Well, he had a good idea. Information wars. Know your information. Get out there. Pass it along. Start making converts. You need to bring more people over onto our side. The easiest people to do that with, well, maybe not really. I was going to say the easiest people to do that with are the people that you know. Well, okay, even Jesus himself said that a prophet is not without honor except in his own hometown, right? Okay, so sometimes those people that know you are the most difficult because they already have their biases and their thoughts. It depends on what they think about you, I guess. But everybody within your sphere, start. And as I said the other day, don't hammer this at them. Just start to talk. Talk reasonably. Talk intelligently. Speak convincingly. Speak with concern. Show your bedrock rationality and concern for the situation, and allow them to become included in it. Okay, like I said the other day, it's a fishing. It's not hunting. You don't go out there and get people on your side by shooting at them. You go out there by putting a lure on the line, letting them take a look at it, and then pulling them closer and closer and closer in until they're finally in your net. I know that sounds, that sounds fairly terrible, right? No, but that's exactly what we want. If we don't win at this point, then the fight goes to a whole another level that nobody in their right mind wants. Now, it might come to that, and if it does come to that, well, okay, there it is, and we'll deal with that when the time comes. But nobody in their right mind wants it to come to that if we can solve this a better way, and that way is now. By talking, by convincing, by pushing this. So go to joecheated.com, get that information, use it. You can send it out to people and just say, hey, consider this. What do you think? I think this is horrible. And let them start seeing it. That's the best thing. When you're going up against an enemy, one of the best things to do is to sow dissension in their camp, sow doubt in their camp, soften their resolve, soften their support, so that when it does come to that, the real fight won't be as difficult as it would have been otherwise if we just kind of pull back and go, okay, I'm waiting for that first shot to be fired and I'm ready. Well, first shot to be fired might be right there, right? That serves nobody any good. So let's fight the fight that needs to be fought, that should be fought now. And that's the fight of information and reasoning, okay? Like the Godfather said, let us reason together. And you can get a lot done like that. I had a couple of questions back here. As somebody asked me, they've noticed the books that I have back here. Unintended Consequences is one by John Ross. They asked me what I thought about it. It is the Atlas Shrugged of the Second Amendment. Everybody should read it. Everybody who is interested in the gun culture, the gun laws, how that started, everything. I would suggest that everyone read that. It is pretty pricey nowadays, but it's also a good investment if you get out there and get you a copy. And of course, the other one I was going through, I was looking through. It's Rush's brother, David Limbaugh, and it's about crimes against liberty, an indictment of the President Barack Obama. If you've forgotten that stuff, well, we're looking at a potential Obama 2.0 coming up. And if you haven't read this book, this is a great one because, again, we're already seeing the push for crimes against liberty. But right now we're involved in this election fraud and this attempt to overthrow our country in a voter coup. And let's fight that one right now, okay? Remember that that this country does not need to stay where it is right now because it has gone too far in the wrong direction. This country needs a reversion, a return to the way things were supposed to be, and in many ways were. And it needs to be an American reversion, and it needs you to be a part of it. So I ask that please like this, give it a like, subscribe, spread it around, tell your friends, get them on this. The more we can get this information out here, the better it's going to be for all of us. And comment. Let us hear your comments. This should be a place where everybody gets to talk, express their opinions, tell us what you're doing, what you're worried about, what you're going to do, ask questions, and give advice. So with that, I'll let you go. You all have a great day, and I'll be back to talk to you later. Bye-bye.